Hey, welcome to this week's edition of the Entertainment Burrito. I'm Sean.
Andrew.
So, hop right into it. You saw last week, right? You saw Tenet.
Week and a half, yeah.
Week and a half ago.
Twice.
Let's talk about that real quick. Give me the quick lowdown of that film. How was it? What did you think? Everything about it. Give me the whole scoop.
Well, first of all...
Give me a spoiler-free. It's been out for a week, so if you haven't... I haven't even seen it, so...
Spoiler-free. First of all, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very Nolan-esque.
Okay.
I wanted to tell you, no offense, you probably won't understand it. I think most minds... it's a movie that definitely needs to be rewatched. I would give it to anyone if they understood...
From the get-go?
Like 90% of that movie. Or at least what was going on. And kind of where the plot was towards the end and understood the way time inversion worked in the movie.
Yeah.
It seems like, when you think about it, I remember seeing the trailer, I thought it sounded like a genuinely fairly easy idea to kind of wrap my head around. Then seeing the movie, and of course it's Christopher Nolan, it is his most, it's almost like a sequel to Memento with the way the story is told.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I will say, plenty of people I remember reading about reviews, audio issues, mixing, whatever.
Were they real?
Very much so. I saw it in IMAX.
Was it bad real, or was it like is it more bearable than like the reviews make it seem?
Slightly.
A
little bit. I like loud because I saw it in IMAX, the biggest theater here in Orlando. And dude, it looked amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
Picture-wise, sound-wise, I knew it'd be loud.
Yeah.
But, I really felt like, I don't know if Christopher Nolan, I'm sure he did, or who knows, if he watched his movie in a setting like that and was like,
we know that it has to be turned down a little bit.
You know what I mean? Because there are certain points of the movie where there's dialogue where it's like, that's pertaining to the next scene and what's going on.
You can't hear it.
Yeah, and you can't hear it. Or there's kind of stuff in the moment.
Okay.
Especially the end, I'll say, like, small thing, right? Main character, bad guy, having this cool epic talk over walkie-talkies.
That's sick.
Everything going on.
You can't hear it.
You cannot hear it.
Damn.
I'm serious. I
Really?
I imagine that, they were, like, saying they were a piece of crap or something like that to each other. Who knows? You just make it up.
Wow.
So, because I remember, I saw it twice. Me and my dad.
You see it twice now?
Yeah, I saw it twice.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So... Stuff like that.
So when you watched it the second time, did you
I
understand?
did not understand the movie anymore.
Than it was the first time you saw it?
The first. I'm serious. But I enjoyed it.
Just as much?
Just as much, maybe even a little better.
Okay.
It's a very tough movie. I give it to the editor. That sounds like the biggest pain ever editing that movie.
No one wrote it, right?
He did.
He did it by himself, or he wrote it with
Original's idea, I think he said he was working on the script for like 10 years as well. So
wow.
I think he could have been writing that around the time he was finishing Inception.
What is he... My thing with him too, I'm wondering, like, he makes these films like Tenet. Again, I haven't seen it yet, but he makes films like Tenet, where like these mind blowing, like, you have to decipher the idea, you don't know what's going on. But then also he makes Dunkirk, where it's straightforward, it's to the point. That's him too.
So the story's told the story is a little complex,
and then
slightly. There's like a little creative edge to it.
But then you have
story-wise.
With Interstellar, like, even that film is, it's kind of straightforward. The only confusing part about Interstellar to me is when he's like in the the void of a bookshelf.
He went to the wormhole.
Yeah,
he was talking to his
kid with Morse code with the books. So it's like that was the only part where you're like, I don't understand what's going on right now.
Right.
But besides that, so I love Christopher Nolan. But yeah, I do wonder why he what drives him to do these, because he has to know that nobody understands his movie when he watches it.
The audience is kind of dumb most of the time.
Well, I for sure agree. There's people would be like, I don't say like us, but a lot of people are just your average moviegoer, and are just gonna go into it because they think it looks good. They've seen John David Washington, they're like, oh, I like him. Go for it. Robert Pattinson's in it.
Edward.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm going to watch it, and they're like, I don't know what I just watched,
Yeah, and a lot of reviews said that. But, as we talked about last week, I said I like that type of storytelling, actually.
Yeah.
A reason why you should go back to the movies, maybe because there's something you didn't catch or even understand. I think that, I genuinely think that's a solid movie.
Yeah.
You know, there is the other of like, hey, purely entertaining.
I want to watch a coherent story.
Yeah, you know, I love this scene. You know, I want to see that. I want to see that fight scene again, or you know, or acting, whatever it is, or the way something's shot, location.
Yeah.
But I appreciate Nolan because he's very. Yeah. He's one of the same like Tarantino.
Yeah.
They want to bring these original ideas to life.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate. There's only a handful of directors that obviously have the opportunity to create something from scratch.
Yeah,
that
something
they have,
brand new.
and they have a limited budget.
Can blow up a whole plane and crash it into a hangar.
Literally, literally. You know. So, you know, that movie, I definitely, personally, I put it somewhere in his middle top.
Okay, so that's high.
Some top tens I've seen are kind of in the bottom. I don't agree with. I really think it is at least in his, out of his 10, I put it maybe by his fourth. Fifth.
What's the performers wise? John David Washington good in it.
Amazing.
Rob Pattinson good in it.
I really think one of the better performances. I was just recently watching Inception again.
Yep. And
I don't know why. I kind of just wasn't digging some things like acting.
Love that movie.
Backstory. Great film. I will say that. Of course, like one of the best. But you know, I think one of the weird complaints was saying how John David Washington's character wasn't.
Yeah.
There was like a lack of connect.
Yeah.
But I feel like he
with that character, you're saying like the audience doesn't connect with him.
Yes.
Really, you connect with him. I like him in the trailers. He seems pretty legit.
That's how I felt.
But then it's not that guy.
I felt like he brought I really felt like he brought a lot of charm. I would say charisma, but there's just I feel like there's this presence he has already that we haven't seen before.
With the Nolan film, you're saying, or with him?
With him alone.
Okay.
I don't think of any other actor. I don't think of his dad. Anyway, I'm like, hey, John David Washington is his own man.
His own dude, yeah.
So that's why I'm very excited to see whatever role he's in the future.
Next, yeah.
And Robert Pattinson, it was really. I'm not, I've never been the hugest fan, but it was until this movie where I'm like, okay,
he's gonna be a good Batman.
He's gonna be a great Batman.
That's what you're telling me.
And he's very talented. He really is a very talented actor. Yeah. It is a very warm welcome to see him come back into Hollywood movies.
Yeah,
big Hollywood movies.
No, I have to see. I've yet to see it. I want to. Haven't been able to make it to the theater yet. I mean, the last thing I saw in the theater was Jurassic Park, the first one. So I saw it in the theater a few weeks ago. But I'm glad that theaters are starting to come back. I'm glad that Tenet was like the introduction to the theaters again.
It's like a test.
So I'm excited I am excited to go see it. It does look very good. I will say with Christopher Nolan, Tarantino, I mean the rewatchability though of their films, to me, I mean they are pretty high. I've flipped on Inception a few times when I leave like the pub or something like that for like a few hours, something like that. And I come back, if the movie's still on, I'll finish it. You know, if it's halfway through, I'll sit down and watch Inception, or I'll watch Memento. Even though that's a kind of a depressing one. But what was it? Just the other night we watched Django, and all the way through, start to finish, it was like, nah, let's flip it on, and then watch the whole thing.
And you're in.
Oh yeah, way in.
Invested.
But yeah, I think that I'm excited for it. I'm not excited to not understand the film. I'm excited to talk about it, but I mean, just with Inception, it was one of those things where it was like, I had to have watched. Now, watching it as like a later teenager, adult, I guess you could say, I've watched countless, like, what happened, how to understand the film, because, I mean, it took me a while to get it, but I'm not the biggest fan of Nolan's, like, Dunkirk was okay to me. Cinematically wise, I mean, incredible. But not the best. Not the best to me. Plus, Tom Hardy. When they were like, Tom Hardy's in it, I'm like, well, sold. And then he's in it for 5 seconds, has completely inaudible lines, because he has his, the mask, the pilot's mask on. I'm like,
same with Tenet.
Didn't you learn from Bane? Like, he can't talk, dude.
Same with Tenet, yeah.
So that was one kind of step in the wrong direction for me. And that was his last film, right? Before Tenet, yeah.
Years ago.
Wow. But yeah, I'm excited. But next thing that we have to discuss is Mandalorian Season 2 trailer. Again, that was only my second time watching it.
It's like my 8th.
Really?
9th. That was 9th.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'll be straight up with you. Straight up. Pretty disappointed in the trailer. May not seem that way. I'm a little disappointed in the trailer. Here's why. We got a minute 52 of not a goddamn thing.
I mean, that's... Now, okay. Now we'll flip that. I really think Disney is good. Most people won't agree with that right there. I believe they're very great with their marketing, with especially Star Wars. Whether you hate the movies or not, they really will fool you, trick you. You just won't know what you're getting.
Oh yeah, until you watch it, and then you're like, "This movie sucks."
And I appreciate that.
Yeah,
because I think for the most part, they've done a pretty well job with the Marvel movies.
Yep.
But I want to say Star Wars for sure. No, Marvel for sure, because they've done some pretty fake stuff. I mean, they've added and taken away stuff in trailers.
Seeing it all the time.
They are very good with their marketing, and I think DC can learn from that rather than put Doomsday in the trailer. But we're getting off topic. So I really like that because I don't want to see too much. I don't want to know.
Right.
I don't really want to see where they're all going. You know. So again, it's almost like getting into the first season again. Yeah. I just showed my wife. Exactly. I just showed my wife the whole season. It took her a long time, and it's so crazy when you watch it and how much we're already used to, like
who he is,
and what the show turned out to be.
Yeah, it's a Western.
It was so unexpected. Even the very first episode, you're thinking, hey, this Mando, Lone Ranger, does what he needs to all by himself. End of the episode, he's now got his new child, you know? And it was such a good thing. It was a cool twist to me because I just, obviously wasn't expecting it, but it really, it complimented his character. And I just feel like it made the show it just made it that much more, like, lovable. So.
No, I'm very excited for the second season. I'm not going to say I'm not at all. I mean, I really am. The casting that they have now, the characters they've announced, you know, what's her, it's Rosario Dawson that they've casted as Ahsoka. They casted the dude that used to play the clones and played Django, you know, is apparently going to play maybe a clone, playing Boba Fett, whatever he's doing, he's in it as well. You already got me. I'm already going to re-sign up for Disney Plus because I lost my subscription, actually, because someone, like, hacked our account. So, got to get that subscription back. But, no, I agree. I think that Disney's very good with that. I also think, and the reason I have so much faith in the show is because I think wherever they go with the Marvel movies now, they're going to be garbage. I think they're going to suck.
I probably second that.
They set the bar. They set the bar high as it could go with
to heaven.
Yeah, we'll set up every single character is having this extra movies.
Infinity War Endgame was. Yeah.
Well, even every other solo, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, you know, all of them, all of those side movies, Far From Home, having all those movies, they set the bar so high. Then ended it with Endgame. Spoiler alert! Killing off, you know, Tony Stark, the Avengers, you know. Steve Rogers is old and dead. Like, doing all of that, there's nowhere left to go. And as far as the X-Men are concerned, I mean, talking about that with my roommate not too long ago was how they introduced the X-Men, how they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four. Because our only theory that we were thinking is with the multiverse with the new Doctor Strange movies.
Right.
But off topic. But my point is, Disney set the bar high with those movies. I think they know that. I think they know that there's nowhere really left to go, to me personally.
But down.
But, no, because down, yes, for the Marvel movies. Yeah. But they have another medium. They have Mandalorian now, which is like, I mean, the child's going to be a cultural icon for probably the next couple of decades. I mean, like, he's an icon. So I think that now they put so much care into Mandalorian. They're going to put so much care into, like, the What If series for Marvel. So I trust it. I'm excited for it.
Right.
I'm excited to see, you know, Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
And
kind of going back, I really feel like this is their place. They found their place, I mean.
Yeah.
With this medium being TV shows.
Yeah.
Because you can tell, even with the first season, that Jon Favreau, right? He helmed the whole project, but he had the same 3 or 4 creatives.
Yep.
That had one vision. Obviously, that was that was not there for the trilogy.
Yeah.
But that's where these shows really will succeed. We're not going to compare, but that's where these shows will succeed, and I really believe even the Marvel shows will succeed.
Yep.
They're going to have one vision, literally.
Yep.
And I mean, they're going to play out the way probably they should be intended.
Yeah.
So wherever the show goes, my thing is, I'm not the biggest TV show guy.
That's the new medium now. I mean,
but even with this being Disney, it's so new still.
Yeah.
How long is this show going to go on? There was this rumor I heard with Obi-Wan. Did you hear about that?
That it's not going to happen anymore?
Well, no. That apparently he came out and said, as far as he knows, Ewan McGregor
still doing it.
Yeah, but latest news was that apparently it's going to be only a 1-season show.
I heard that. I did hear that.
So I really think that's interesting. If that is real, in a way, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I believe they could bridge.
Yeah,
that's enough time to bridge
everything.
Episodes 3 and 4.
Yeah.
There's no way you need to milk it in a way.
Yeah, we know what he was doing pretty much.
Exactly. If they were to make it a 10 episode, maybe 45 to an hour, that is more than enough. Because this show, again, I feel like maybe you can go to 4, 5, maybe.
Gotta be careful though,
Yeah.
That's the problem with shows though.
Exactly. I even think that's pushing it for them.
Yeah.
And I think they know that because they have already on the back burner. I'm sure all these ideas and shows they want to do.
WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right.
They have, and what else will they have with Star Wars? I'm sure.
Because if you think about it, this will almost be the very first TV show that has, 3 spinoffs from one franchise?
Yeah.
Most TV shows only have 1 spinoff.
Yeah.
There will be 3 in the same universe. So I think because we have, for sure, Obi-Wan.
So that's considered, right? So that's a spinoff?
Obi-Wan and then the Cassian Andor show.
Oh, yeah.
So right there, like I said, 3 different storylines in the Star Wars universe. And I don't see any reason of, again, milking these and making these really long. You have these 3 short, sweet stories that are all a few seasons.
Keep building off of them, too.
Yeah, and that all fills in this, the lore and the canon that they're, that they're in right now.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited to see, the whole, we saw the TIE Fighters, we saw the Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
We, have the speeder bikes. I'm excited to see this stuff. So I see where they're going to go with it.
Yeah. More sets, too.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more excited because you heard the alarm. It was kind of like
what is
it was like a destroyer, I think, or the Death Star.
Is that Star Wars alarm?
So I think that's one thing I'm really excited for is, again, the sets. I love a lot of the planets. The technology using to shoot those is incredible.
Yeah.
But I think what really makes Star Wars for me are the sets.
Because aren't they doing that? They're in that set, and it's like the
giant screen.
That stuff is incredible.
Which is amazing. So I would, I kind of want to get to just traditional, practical.
Yep.
Building these huge wooden whatever.
That's what they said they're going to do with this season is more sets now.
I would hope to see that. I don't know if they confirmed it, but I would like to see
talking about
spaceships, different, maybe cities, more stuff like that. So,
no, I'm hoping that it doesn't let me down. The first season didn't. The first season set the bar so high, but with
great all the way through.
With shows, you have to be careful because as we've seen, The Walking Dead, and Game of Thrones. Started out being, I think those shows revolutionized TV. They revolutionized long form storytelling. That's what it is. That's what it's that comic books, novels, whatever. That's what TV shows are. They revolutionized that, started a movement, But then as we see with these shows, they just don't follow through. Walking Dead stopped being good probably about 5 seasons ago. They're about to be on season 11 or whatever.
Yeah.
They said that's going to be the last season. So I think that with The Mandalorian, give me we'll have to see how the season goes. But I'm going to say probably season 4, last season, perfect place to do it. Breaking Bad, 5 seasons, done.
Perfect.
Give it that there's a sweet spot with storytelling. Now that's a problem because it could be a problem because shows like Mandalorian, who knows? It could be so good that it could run 10 seasons and be good all the way through and never get old and never get sick of it. They're always changing, bringing in new characters, whatever, right? Or this season could suck and we beg for season 3 to be the last season.
Yeah, it could be it.
And then they do 5 more seasons of just awful, awful, awful. But no matter what, I have faith in Jon Favreau. I mean, to me, that man is like a god.
It's like your bread and butter.
Yes, dude. I mean, he has been for quite a while now.
We love you, Jon Favreau.
Yeah, Jon Favreau, we do love you.
I'd wash your feet, dude.
Yeah.
Gladly.
And that's the thing with him is I have so much faith in him and everything he's done for Marvel and now Star Wars. I mean, he's a nerd. He's us. He's making it for us and for himself because he is a nerd.
Exactly.
So and that's where you're hitting the perfect spot. You have a nerd working on nerdy things.
Yep.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, with full creative control.
Exactly. Because they have. I mean, I hate Kathleen Kennedy, but
it doesn't feel like the show. There's no agenda.
Kathleen Kennedy, though, if you want to give me a job, I'll wash your feet. It's whatever.
Same here.
But
I haven't said anything bad about you.
But
exactly. I even Kate and I, my wife, were talking about. I mean, even the diversity of the show so far.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's incredible.
Gina Carano.
MMA fighter.
MMA, obviously I'm not going to say anything bad about her.
Yeah.
But this is one of the first thicker women we've seen.
Yeah, and she's badass.
And she's amazing.
Yeah,
she is genuinely amazing. I love that. As my wife was saying, like, she's getting tired of seeing these stick girls, these stick figures. And
Gamora and stuff like that. Zoe Saldana. It's like...
Even Daisy Ridley, and the Cara Dune, there's...
Yeah, she's a
just
badass
alone,
character.
There's so much to her. I love Carl Weathers. I think he's a really cool addition.
He's awesome.
He is so cool.
Having Werner Herzog in the first season
Herzog was amazing, yeah. So they're really killing it with diversity. Nothing doesn't feel like this agenda thing. It's these characters, like they have an idea.
Yeah, it's perfect storytelling.
It's written, it's written with these people in mind already.
Yep.
And I love that. Nothing is... They're not doing it for anyone.
And that's the best thing I love with the Mandalorian himself. Pedro Pascal. Jesus. Pedro. Pablo Pascal.
It's Pablo, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It is Pablo Pascal. Is it Pablo? No, it's not. It's not.
Pedro.
It's Pedro. Pedro Pascal.
We love you too, Pedro.
Yes. We'll get your name right. One day we'll get your name right. But with him and Mando himself, you never see who he is. And you don't care. You don't care who he is underneath. You care who he is underneath the mask, but you really don't care who's playing him. You just care about the Mando, and that's another thing I love about it. With the diversity, is when he's revealed and his helmet comes off. You're like, I don't even care. He's first of all, he looks rough, but you're like, I love you, and I just
beautiful
love
man on the inside.
But right, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So all these characters and in Cara Dune and all of them, like, it doesn't really matter, who they are as far as like, I guess it boils down to just their diversity. They're perfectly diverse, but as you said, there is no agenda to it. It doesn't feel as though they're just these powerful characters, powerful actors playing powerful characters, playing towards one powerful story.
So any better.
Exactly. So I'm excited for it. We're excited for it.
It's gonna be a great rest of the year.
So I say, call it there for this week's, this new edition of
the Entertainment Burrito.
The Entertainment Burrito. As always, I'm Sean.
I'm Andrew.
We'll see you around.
We'll catch you later.